She went to the resort to meet her billionaire husband, but she was humiliated and thrown out in front of everyone. And when he arrived and saw what they had done to his wife, his reaction left the entire resort in shock. Anna rushed through the Marina Palace Resort, an exclusive haven where wealth and status ruled. At 30, her beauty usually turned heads, but today, in jeans, a white t-shirt, and running shoes, she was out of place. Her husband, Andrew, a powerful CEO, had urgently summoned her, yet his message remained unanswered. Around her, guests in designer attire sipped champagne, exchanging talk of yachts and investments. She barely noticed the judgmental glances as she moved through the lobby, unaware of the whispers trailing behind her. In her rush, she'd even forgotten her wedding ring, that ring that, ironically, cost more than some of the luxury cars parked outside. But soon, the Marina Palace would learn a powerful lesson. Appearances can be deceiving, and the woman they silently dismissed was far more than she seemed. Anna approached the marble-clad reception desk, her heart already racing from the urgency of Andrew's message. Behind the counter, Victoria Matthews, the head receptionist whose nameplate gleamed as polished as her fake smile, looked up, her perfectly lined lips curling into a slight sneer. "Can I help you?" Victoria's voice dripped with disdain, each word carefully chosen to make Anna feel smaller. Anna's throat tightened, but she managed to speak. "Yes, I'm here to see Andrew Barrett. He's expecting me." A sharp laugh cut through the air. Behind Anna, a group of socialites had gathered, led by Catherine Wellington, a regular whose reputation for cruelty matched her collection of designer wear. "Mr. Barrett?" Catherine's voice carried deliberately across the lobby. "Darling, I think you've confused this with the budget hotels in town. This is Marina Palace." She emphasized each syllable as if speaking to a child. Anna's cheeks burned hot, her hands trembling slightly as she clutched her phone. "No, I'm his wife. He asked me to—" "His wife?" Victoria interrupted, exchanging knowing looks with her colleague. "Ma'am, I know Mrs. Barrett. She's a regular here, and she would never—" Her eyes swept over Anna's outfit with exaggerated disgust. Dress like this. Anna's stomach churned. Each word felt like a physical blow, making her increasingly aware of every imperfection in her appearance. She could feel dozens of eyes on her, hear the whispers and barely suppressed giggles. "Perhaps," Catherine chimed in again, loudly enough for everyone to hear, "she's one of those gold diggers we keep reading about, trying her luck." The group around her erupted in theatrical laughter. Victoria reached for the phone. "I'm calling security. We can't have people walking in claiming to be whoever they please." "Please," Anna's voice cracked slightly. "Just call Andrew. He'll confirm." "That's Mr. Barrett to you," Victoria snapped. "And we don't disturb our VIP guests with such verification requests." Her lips curled into a cruel smile. "James, would you please escort this woman out?" A tall security guard approached, his hand reaching for Anna's arm. The touch made her flinch, memories of her rushed morning, the urgent message, forgetting her ring, her perfect life suddenly feeling like a distant dream, crashing down around her. "You're hurting me," Anna whispered as James's grip tightened. "Oh, don't be so dramatic," Catherine called out. "Although I must say this is the most entertainment we've had all week. Maybe we should tip her." More laughter erupted. Tears welled in Anna's eyes, but she blinked them back. The magnificent lobby now felt like a gilded cage, each crystal chandelier casting shadows that seemed to mock her. Her legs felt weak, her chest tight with humiliation. Victoria stood up, her designer suit rustling. "Let me make this very clear. People like you don't belong here. This is a prestigious establishment, not some public beach. Either you leave now, or we'll be forced to call the police." "The police?" Anna's voice was barely audible now, her whole body trembling. The thought of being arrested, of Andrew finding out like this, made her feel physically ill. "Oh yes," Catherine added, clearly enjoying herself. "Imagine the headlines. Gold digger arrested at Marina Palace. Your little scam would be all over the news." The security guard began pulling Anna toward the door, her feet stumbling on the polished marble. The whispers had grown louder, phones were out recording the scene, and Anna could feel her world spinning. In their eyes, she wasn't Anna Barrett, a woman who had built a life, who had love and success and dignity. She was nothing more than an intruder, someone to be disposed of and mocked. And in that moment, as tears finally broke free and ran down her cheeks, Anna understood what it truly meant to be judged, dismissed, and dehumanized, all because she didn't fit their narrow view of what belonged in their world of privilege. The elegant elevator doors opened with a soft chime. For a heartbeat, time seemed to freeze. Andrew Barrett emerged, his 6 feet 2 inches frame commanding immediate attention. Even among the wealthy guests of Marina Palace, his presence was different. It wasn't about his Tom Ford suit or his Patek Philippe watch. It was about power, raw, unmistakable power. His usual diplomatic smile vanished the instant he saw the scene before him. His wife, tears streaming down her face, a security guard's hand gripping her arm, Victoria's smug expression, Catherine's group, phones raised like weapons. The fountain in the courtyard suddenly seemed deafening in the silence that fell. "Take your hands off my wife." Each word dropped like ice into the still air. The security guard's fingers sprang open as if Anna's arm had suddenly burned him. "Mr. Barrett," Victoria's voice cracked, her perfectly lined lips trembling. "We had no idea. This woman was claiming—" "This woman?" Andrew's voice was deadly quiet, the kind of quiet that preceded financial storms, the kind that made stock markets tremble. Catherine Wellington took a wobbling step forward, her Louboutins clicking against marble like a death knell. "Andrew, darling, there's been a terrible Don't. Just one word. But it froze Catherine mid-sentence. Richard Maxwell, the resort owner, burst through the lobby doors, his face already ashen. One look at Andrew's expression made him stop dead in his tracks. The power had shifted. Everyone could feel it. The air itself seemed to crackle with it. The phones that had been recording Anna's humiliation slowly lowered, their owners suddenly realizing they'd documented their own downfall. Andrew's eyes swept the lobby, memorizing each face, each person who had participated in his wife's humiliation. His expression promised consequences, not loud, dramatic scenes, but the quiet, devastating kind that happened in boardrooms and through bank transfers. And as he stepped toward his wife, the crowd parted, suddenly desperate to be anywhere else. They knew what was coming. They just didn't know how bad it would be. They were about to find out. The lobby fell silent. But Andrew was just beginning. His eyes locked onto each person who had participated in his wife's humiliation. Victoria stepped forward first, her voice trembling. "Mr. Barrett, we have standards to maintain. The resort's reputation." "Standards?" Andrew's voice cut through the air like a blade. "Let's talk about standards, Victoria. While you were judging my wife's sneakers, she was rushing here to sign papers for a children's rehabilitation center, children learning to walk again. But please, tell me more about your standards." Victoria's perfectly lined lips quivered, her manicured hand clutching the reception desk. Catherine Wellington attempted to salvage the situation. "We were simply trying to protect our exclusive environment." "Exclusive?" Andrew's laugh was cold. "My wife has funded rehabilitation centers in 12 countries. She sits on boards with royalty, yet she chooses to wear simple clothes because she spends her days working with children who are learning to take their first steps again. What's your excuse for your behavior, Mrs. Wellington? Besides poor character?" Catherine's face flushed crimson, her designer clutch trembling in her hands. The security guard cleared his throat. "Sir, it's our job to maintain security. By assaulting a woman who was trying to help children." Andrew's eyes flashed. "Tell me, does your training manual include a chapter on bruising innocent people? Or was that your personal touch?" James, the guard, visibly wilted, his broad shoulders slumping. Then, something remarkable happened. The lobby doors opened, and a stream of people entered, world-renowned physical therapists, Olympic athletes, celebrities known for their charitable work. Among them was Emma Thompson, the acclaimed actress and humanitarian. "Anna, darling!" Emma rushed forward, embracing Anna warmly. "Is everything ready for tomorrow's opening?" The same lobby that had witnessed Anna's humiliation was now watching her being embraced by some of the world's most respected figures. Victoria, who had refused her a pen, watched as Anna discussed rehabilitation programs with leading medical experts. Catherine, who had mocked her clothes, stood frozen as Anna was praised by celebrities for her vision. "Thanks to Anna's initiative," Emma announced to the gathered crowd, "part of this resort will become the country's most advanced pediatric rehabilitation center. Children who struggle to walk will learn to run on these beaches. Those who fight to move will find strength in these pools." The staff who had sneered at Anna now watched as she was surrounded by admiration and respect. Their faces shifted from shock to shame as they realized the true magnitude of their actions. Andrew stepped forward one last time. "My wife wasn't dressed for your approval today. She was dressed for the children she helps. Children who don't care about designer labels, only about the hands that help them stand again." The transformation was complete. The lobby that had been a scene of cruelty was now filled with hope and purpose. And there stood Anna, not as a woman to be judged by her clothes, but as a force of change, surrounded by those who recognized true worth. The same employees who had mocked her now stood in stunned silence, watching as Anna Barrett, the woman they had tried to throw out, was celebrated as the visionary behind a project that would change countless lives. Victoria's mascara-stained tears, Catherine's trembling hands, and James's bowed head told the story of their harsh lesson. True class has nothing to do with clothes, and everything to do with character. The same employees who had mocked her now stood in absolute silence, watching as Anna Barrett, the woman they had tried to throw out, was celebrated as the visionary behind a project that would change countless lives. The very same people who had humiliated her in front of dozens were now the ones facing humiliation, but on a much larger stage, before celebrities who had learned of their actions and millions who had seen the viral videos and news reports. The ones who had scorned her now stood frozen, witnessing her being applauded and respected by influential figures and world-renowned personalities. They would never forget this day. They were in shock. The tables had turned. 1 month later, the resort Marina Palace had transformed beyond recognition. The grand opening of the Children's Rehabilitation Center attracted media attention worldwide, but the real story was happening in the quiet moments. Victoria, still employed but deeply changed, watched from her desk as a small girl took her first steps along the marble floor, the same floor where she had once judged someone's worth by their shoes. The child's laughter echoed through the lobby, replacing the memory of cruel whispers. Catherine Wellington's social circle had crumbled, but she found herself volunteering at the center, learning what true luxury meant, the luxury of seeing a child stand for the first time. The resort's reputation had indeed changed, but not as they had feared. Celebrities and elite guests now requested rooms specifically because of the center, proud to be part of something meaningful. Photos of children learning to walk again alongside Olympic athletes filled the walls where pretentious art once hung. James, the security guard, had requested to be assigned to the rehabilitation wing. Every day he helped children feel safe and welcomed, his strength now used to support, not intimidate. The videos of that day had gone viral, but not as a scandal. They became a powerful reminder of how judging others can blind us to true greatness. Corporate training programs worldwide now use the incident as a case study in humility and human dignity. Anna's office, overlooking the beach, was exactly where they had tried to throw her out. But she hadn't taken the position for revenge. Every morning, she walked through the lobby in simple clothes, greeting everyone with the same kindness, even those who had scorned her. Her revenge wasn't in making them feel small, but in showing them how to be bigger people. Sometimes the biggest lessons come in unexpected packages. Have you ever judged someone too quickly, only to realize you were completely wrong? Share your story in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. Every week, we bring you powerful stories that remind us that appearances can be deceiving, and true worth lies in how we treat others. Hit the notification bell to never miss an update. And remember, the next person you meet might just change your life. or you might change theirs. Join our community who believe in looking beyond the surface. Because in life, just like in our stories, the best surprises often come when we least expect them. See you in our next video, where another incredible story awaits.